Imagine being detained and the law explicitly bans a judge from hearing your case. During the 1960s and 70s, many Ugandan government decrees contained this exact phrase, an ouster clause that shielded the government from accountability. Without access to the courts, citizens had zero legal recourse. Between 1971 and 1986, military rule replaced civilian law, resulting in widespread arbitrary arrests and a complete breakdown of legal protection. To understand the Ugandan constitution as it exists today, we have to trace how the country moved from that period of military impunity to a legal system built around human rights. Let's map out the three major eras of this evolution. In the pre-colonial period, rights were collectivist. The responsibility for justice and protection rested with the clan and tribal leaders, prioritizing the community's survival over individual freedoms. The British administration introduced individualist legal concepts, like private land ownership. These ideas clashed directly with systemic exploitation. Policies like Kasanvu, a system of forced labor, routinely violated the dignity of the local population. Next came the first decades of post-independence, from 1962 to 1985. The early constitutions of 62, 66, and 67 failed to contain the executive branch. This period saw frequent detention without trial and severe state repression. The period of instability led the state to convene the Uganda Commission, where thousands of citizens provided testimony that directly shaped the text of the 1995 Constitution. The most immediate problem the new Constitution had to solve was the ouster clause. Regimes had used this legal tool to physically lock citizens out of the justice system, making state-sponsored abuses legal on paper. The 1995 Constitution abolished those clauses by establishing the doctrine of constitutional supremacy. The Constitution is now the highest authority in the land, overriding any executive decree. In practice, this means any law or government action can be challenged in a court of law, even actions taken by the president or the military. Article 20 of the Constitution codified that rights are inherent rather than granted by the state, legally obligating the government to respect and protect them. This table shows how rights are categorized today. The left side lists derogable rights. Chapter 4 of the Constitution permits reasonable limitations on certain freedoms, like assembly or movement, to maintain public order. But the right side shows a strict exception. Article 44 outlines non-derogable rights. This is an absolute legal floor that the state cannot violate under any circumstances, including war or a declared state of emergency. There are exactly 4 non-derogable rights protected here: the right to a fair trial, freedom from torture, the right to an order of habeas corpus, and freedom from slavery. This doctrine places a hard limit on executive power, ensuring the legal suspensions that caused the abuses of the 70s and 80s can never be justified again. Let's check your understanding with a UNEB standard question. Under Article 44, which right is non-derogable? A. Movement, B. Speech, C. Fair hearing, or D. Property? Pause the video and lock in your answer. The correct answer is C. While movement or speech can be restricted in an emergency, the right to a fair hearing is an absolute legal protection. Having rights written in the Constitution is only the first step. Parliament enacts specific domestic laws to put those principles into practice, like the 2012 law that made torture a specific criminal offense, attaching personal liability to individual officers. This flowchart tracks how enforcement actually works on the ground. Citizens and civil society organizations monitor the government. They report abuses to the Uganda Human Rights Commission, which then forces legal accountability through the judiciary. We call this the transparency loop. A constitution cannot enforce itself. True protection requires active, independent watchdog institutions and citizens who know exactly what they are legally entitled to. Here is your summary for exam review. Note the transition through the 3 major eras: the doctrine of constitutional supremacy, which abolished the ouster clauses, and the 4 absolute protections known as non-derogable rights. Take a screenshot now. To practice more past paper questions on the 1995 Constitution, head over to Yaka Digital Network and check out the next video in this module.